We are back with the championship predictions from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage, and with me is always Mr. Daniel Cody. We have one championship game while the World Cup's still going on, and that is Sunderland versus Millwall. It's a repeat of the 2004 FA Cup semi-final.
Oh, lovely.
Great stat there. Sunderland, the last time they played, before the break, Sunderland, how do they do?
Now we're going to see how good your notepad is.
It's on the same page and I can't read it.
This is the famous notepad he keeps slapping people.
Sunderland beat Birmingham by 2-1, and Millwall, they how did they do? It's been a while. They beat Preston by 4-2. It was a hat-trick in that game.
It was indeed, and it was after back-to-back 0-0 wins, 0-0 draws even. Sounded like the USA there, aren't I? Oh dear.
Put that in the New York Times.
That's one way to upset 10% of the fan base. But yeah, as you mentioned, a really good performance last time from Millwall. Finally, the man that I said in the pre-season predictions was going to replace Jed Wallace has stepped up to the plate, scored a hat-trick, was absolutely brilliant.
It's a great hat-trick as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good player and had played so well in the Netherlands. You never know whether they're quite going to adapt, but for Fleming, he's been absolutely brilliant. And they've got their own Jed Wallace, so there's no problem with that. Really good season for Millwall so far. A little bit of a sticky start, but they're right up in that mix. And Sunderland, again, good win, plodding along now. They've got Ellis Sims, one of the strikers, back before the break, and they're one of those sides who needed the break. Time to work with Tony Mowbray, get some of that stability and get some of his style imprinted. And I just feel that Sunderland are going to be really comfortable second half of the year. If they can get Ross Stewart back and add a couple more in, I think they might even go for a playoff push. But ultimately, the one thing you do have to say is Sunderland are generally better on the road. Unbeaten in 3 away from home. Lost their last 2 at home. Millwall, by contrast, are worse away from home. I really don't know what to go for here. Millwall are up in that playoff mix. They're not going to want to throw it away. They win that game in hand, they got up to 4th. Sunderland, equally, if they win it, they're up right into the top half. I'm going to go and sit on the fence for the Championship's favourite scoreline. There's one game you've got to get it in. Sunderland 1, Millwall 1.
I'm going 2-0 to Sunderland.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's very hard to predict. It's like the first game of the season. Like we're just making scores up here because obviously everyone's had the break. People started to come back in. Obviously from the little niggling injuries before the World Cup. So these two teams are going to have to play a lot earlier compared to the rest. Well, the other 22 teams. I don't think they're particularly happy that this game's been scheduled before everyone else.
But an early kickoff for Millwall fans as well because of the World Cup last 16 game and Sky. It's not ideal, is it?
Just don't schedule it during that time. I don't know. To be fair, Luton Millwall's got on the same day as the World Cup final. So
Millwall fans are suffering here.
Yeah, sorry, but they can get the train. It's not that bad compared to going to Sunderland. But yeah, I think the home fans will be buzzing to get back into the stadium. I keep saying that the stadium will be a massive impact, even though they didn't pick up a couple of results last couple of times. But I'm going to let them to win by 2-0. That's our prediction for the first game back post World Cup, even though it's still during the World Cup. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Honest Football Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter @HonestFootballFreak, and we'll be back with more predictions soon.